The movie opens up as Sheriff Eric Newlin arrives at the house of his buddy Mitch Collins for Thanksgiving dinner. This excursion is mainly meaningful to the metropolis of Plymouth, Massachusetts, as it became right here in 1621 that the primary Thanksgiving birthday celebration become held in. He meets Mitch's spouse Amanda, and the two greet every different. Alas, Mitch, who is manager at a neighborhood market, is called into paintings for early Black Friday income. On the opposite facet of metropolis we see another Thanksgiving birthday celebration taking area. It's Miles, the home of Thomas Wright, owner of the W Mart shops. This party seems to be a chunk awkward, as his new spouse, Kathleen, and daughter, Jessica, aren't on suitable terms. Jessica's boyfriend and growing baseball famous person, Bobby, is also present on the dinner. Quickly sufficient, the couple joins their pals, Evan, Gabi, Scuba, and Yulia, to look at a film. However, the streets are packed with people queuing up for the Black Friday income. Evan, who is driving, decides to make a quick forestall at one in every of the WR Mart stores to replace his vintage smartphone, given that Jessica, the daughter of the store proprietor, has get right of entry to inside. The teens get into the shop earlier than it simply opens. Inside, the period in between the large crowd of clients collected out of doors grows unruly, seeing the teenagers get right of entry to the shop. Inner Lonnie, a scholar of the rival school, starts off evolved to instigate the group and needs to be permit inside. Facet, this reasons the customers to get pressed towards the cracking glass doors as quickly as the doorways shatter open. A wave of customers rushes, and this causes a security defend to be trampled to death at the same time as any other customer gets his neck slashed by damaged glass. Bobby, who became already inside the store, attempts to assist but gets his arm broken while someone stomps on it. As a rise up erupts interior, we see that each one the chaos is being recorded by way of the safety cameras. Meanwhile, Amanda, who came right here in advance to supply meals to her husband, is likewise stuck inside the madness. Her head is slammed by a shopping cart, which then gruesomely pulls away a chunk of her scalp. Mitch soon finds his wife's body and hugs her in depression. Finally, the state of affairs is added to a halt while Sheriff Newland fires caution shots into the ceiling. The scene then cuts to 1 year after the tragedy, whilst the metropolis is once again gearing up for Thanksgiving. Evan, who uploaded the live flow of the stampede, has raked up thousands and thousands of views on YouTube. Meanwhile, Bobby suffered a profession-finishing injury and has now not been around. Plenty in view that final 12 months. Thomas Wright has done numerous charity works to easy up his photo, which include sending nearby kids to college via his basis. In spite of the stampede that unfolded, Ward is yet again preparing for every other Black Friday sale. However, Mitch, who has ended his process as save supervisor, is now rallying in opposition to Thomas and the complete organization. No arrests had been made at some point of the stampede, as safety photos had effortlessly been deleted that night. The subsequent morning, Sheriff Newlin and his new deputy go to a local diner in which every consumer is being given a John Carver mask for Thanksgiving. John Carver became the first mayor of New Plymouth Colony after he negotiated peace among the local Indians and the Pilgrims. The sheriff mentions that during this metropolis he is regarded as an institution. He then provides that everyone can be sporting those free John Carver masks throughout the holiday. In the next scene, Evan is seen participating in an axe-throwing recreation at the neighborhood. Honest, he appears to be correct at it, so he manages to win a suite after whilst he and the group get tagged in a video of the stampede. In spite of reporting the video more than one times, a person maintains on importing the video and retagging them. Even as that is going on, someone vandalizes the toilet Carver houseware. An ad campaign for Wart changed into presupposed to be filmed while Sheriff Nan reaches the residence. He notices Combat Mart carved on the partitions, and an axe that turned into meant for use as a prop is also missing. He straight away seals the region and starts off evolved a case as that is a historical monument. Later that afternoon, the teenagers acquire at the diner for lunch and see Bobby after his lengthy absence. They then unearths tagged in an Instagram put up of a desk geared up for Thanksgiving dinner. The post was uploaded with the aid of someone calling themselves John Carver. Meanwhile, Jessica informs her pals that Bobby hasn't spoken to her since the incident. She now plans to date another classmate, Ryan, as she's uninterested in Reddy. Her friends are greatly surprised to hear this and that they oppose the concept. But whilst Ryan joins the organization at the diner, he quick wins over every person by giving them tickets for a stay football sport. Just then Jessica notices a abnormal man inside the John Carver mask looking at her from a distance at the diner. That night waitress Lizzie is last up save for the night. She's the same girl who is conserving the cart that by chance killed Amanda. All of a sudden, a killer carrying a John Carver mask attacks her. He slashes her palm and dunks her head into a sink full of water, earlier than sticking her to the freezer door. Even as the killer grabs an axe, Lizzie makes the difficult desire and rips her skin off to break out. But she's unable to make a cell phone call for help. She then retreats to her car, however learns that Carver has already taken her keys. Terrified, she tries to hop internal a dumpster, but Carver slams her vehicle in opposition to it, inflicting the quilt to come down and cut Lizzie in half. The following morning, the lowest half of her body is placed on top of the right march signal for anybody to look elsewhere at school. Evan gets a notification about an Instagram post. The mysterious John Carver account has posted a photo of Liz's mutilated body and tagged him and his friends in it. Meanwhile, Sheriff Newland begins an investigation and suspects that the homicide is attached to the riots that passed off at the W March shop. Ultimate Thanksgiving, Jessica informs her dad approximately the homicide and all the creepy Instagram pictures, but he nonetheless plans to move beforehand with the Black Friday income considered. One of her friends Scuba DM the John Carver Instagram account. Tough the anonymous person to return. Get him later on the police station. Newland asks Jessica to divulge Hart's contents to him. Any small clue she might also have, promising to hold it a mystery, but she hides the statistics about the backup safety pictures for now. Outdoor, she sees Bobby, who's in town helping his uncle's commercial enterprise. The two ex-enthusiasts have a conversation wherein Jessica famous that it turned into her stepmother Catherine, who deleted the security pictures, fearing the lawsuits that would come their matter. However, there's still backup pictures in her dad's domestic workplace, and she, or he, plans to retrieve it. Inside the subsequent scene we see Manny, the security shield who fled the keep as the rebel started in his residence. He's making ready to leave for vacation so that he can escape the eerie crimes occurring in Plymouth. Whilst searching for his passport, he hears a strange noise and finds the toilet Carver mask placed on his sofa. Earlier than Manny can react to this, he is impaled, after which decapitated by means of the killer. After this, the sadistic killer takes an image of Manny's head together with Lizzie's useless body on the dinner desk and posts it on his Instagram account, tagging Jessica and her buddies. After the incident, Jessica allows within the investigation by means of supplying Newland with prints of the security photos that have been missing from the night of the rebellion. To her wonder, Ryan is on The footage meeting the safety shield, who would later be trampled to dying. The teens then start to select out suspects, inclusive of Mitch, who lost his spouse inside the stampede, or Ryan, who seems to be first-rate from the outside, or even Bobby. Meanwhile, Carver starts stalking Lonnie the kid, who instigated the stampede, and his female friend Amy, who became with him throughout the riot, whilst Amy bounces at the trampoline and progressively strips for Lonnie. Carver sneaks up at the back of him and twists his neck. He then sticks a knife underneath the trampoline, causing her foot to get stabbed as she writhes in soreness. The killer finishes her off by way of stabbing her more than one instances. In the subsequent scene, we examine that the soccer sport between the two rival colleges has been cancelled due to the mysterious deaths. Evan and Gobby then head to their elegance to retrieve their backpacks at the same time as Jessica waits for them outside. Unfortunately, because the couple is by myself, Carver assaults and incapacitates them. He then goes after Jessica, decided to seize her as well. She hides herself a few of the mannequin heads, but by accident drops a can of hairspray at the same time as going for a couple of scissors. Carver slashes at her with an awl, but she blinds him temporarily with the hairspray and runs to protection. Outdoor, Bobby confronts Ryan approximately his assembly with the security shield at the night of the stampede, but the latter says that he went there for Adderall capsules that assist him. Have a look at after this traumatizing occasion. Jessica and faculty cross to a neighborhood drug supplier's residence where Scuba receives himself a gun for protection. Within the period in between, Julia's father tries to transport her to Florida, even as a cop guards them at home. However, the notorious Carver in some way manages to sneak into their house. He right now shoots the shield and Julia's father earlier than going